Hey, how's it going? It's Sam Frost here, and in today's short video I want to talk about the importance of intent. So understanding the sort of meaning or purpose behind a prospective customer search, especially as how it relates to pay-per-click advertising on Google, also on Bing, and even sort of organic activities, so SEO really. So intent is something that tends to be misunderstood and kind of overlooked by a lot of business owners and advertisers in my experience. And I'll give an example, I won't name names, but of a business I worked with recently basically came along and said, look, we're selling a product in the following space, following industry, and we want to advertise on just every conceivable keyword, even sort of remotely relating to the product they actually sold. It was pretty impressive how they'd sort of just come up with this list of hundreds and hundreds of words and terms that had sort of some relationship to what it was this business was selling or the industry they were in, but really the sort of underlying intent just wasn't there. So I'll give you an example without revealing this business's industry. Looking at the golf industry would be an example of this. So let's say you sell golf clubs. It would be like going and advertising for things like just golf as a generic term, golf course, golf shoes, who is the best golfer, all those kind of things. So sort of thinking, oh, well, I sell golf clubs and that's all I do, but anyone who is interested in golf in any context whatsoever would also be interested in buying my product. Now, that, in my opinion, is a bit of a mistake, especially with regards to pay-per-click search advertising. So if you had an unlimited budget, if you had no restrictions on what you could spend, you could go out and just target just about anyone searching anything remotely related to what it is that you're actually trying to promote and sell. But none of us really operate in that space. We've all got budgets to work with. Oftentimes, paradoxically, it's the businesses with the smallest budgets and the kind of biggest requirements for generating a positive ROI that are the ones that want to go out and advertise on very broad terms that are barely related to what it is that this business is actually trying to sell. So using that golf example, if you sell golf clubs, then really you want to start your pay-per-click advertising and even your SEO activity going after people who are specifically looking to buy golf clubs. Not necessarily people who want information on golf as a generic kind of thing. It might be someone typing golf into Google, isn't looking to buy golf clubs, but simply is new to the English language, for example, has been told what golf is and they want to go learn a bit more about it. It could be someone who wants to know what the latest results are from international golf tours, all those kind of things. Don't assume that the intent is there just because there's a sort of relationship between what it is you're selling and what someone's searching that isn't particularly strong, because the intent is really, really key, especially when you're paying for people to click on your ads. So using that golf example, if you sell golf clubs, I would be focusing first and foremost on Google searches, search terms and keywords really that are all about golf clubs for sale, buy golf clubs online, best golf clubs for left-handed players. So, sort of like a little bit lower down the intent chain, because someone's searching best golf clubs for left-handed players. Maybe they're not 100% in the buying mindset yet, but they're still showing an interest in a specific product, and there's a nice long tail keyword as well, so there's kind of good meaning behind what it is. They want the best clubs and they need to be for someone who's left-handed. Well, you could send someone making that search to your left-handed golf clubs page if you've got one on your site, for example. So I guess really what I'm saying here is don't overlook the importance of intent. Don't think that it's necessarily a great idea just to go out and cast the net wide and get anyone who is searching for anything that has a remote relationship to the industry you're in or the product or products you're trying to sell. I've seen people try and do this. It's generally never been successful. Unless you're basically trying to use search advertising as a sort of branded play within your industry, you're so much better to say, right, what do I sell? What is the most sort of relevant group of searches or keywords that relate to what I sell that I think a prospective customer might type into Google, and I'd focus on those first, or go and put your energy and your effort and your budget into that. And over time you can expand. So if you start off with your golf clubs business and you start targeting first people searching for golf clubs for sale and best golf clubs and all those kind of things, buy golf clubs online. Once you've exhausted that pool, then you could look to expand from there and say, well, maybe people searching for golf equipment, for example, or golf accessories. They're not necessarily stating that they want golf clubs, but moving out in sort of concentric rings from that bullseye in the middle, or that target in the middle, maybe someone who is looking for golf accessories, well, they've clearly got some interest in playing golf, So maybe I can convince them that actually what they need is a new set of clubs and not a new golf bag or set of golf shoes or anything like that. But just spraying your sort of advertising budget willy-nilly over people searching anything somewhat related to what it is you sell. In this example I gave from a business earlier, that was even broader than this. They were, to sort of put a different spin on it, they were selling golf clubs but advertising for people looking at anything relating to any kind of sport. That's the sort of level they were working at. It's just not a great play, because what you're going to do is wind up diluting your budget. What tends to happen as well, if you go for these very broad terms, like there's way more searches for golf than there are for best golf clubs for left-handed players, and so you can wind up having all of your budget hoovered up by these broad keywords that aren't necessarily that well sort of focused from an intent perspective on what it is you're trying to sell. You might think you're doing well because you're getting lots of people seeing your ads and clicking, and maybe even some good cost metrics, but it's not turning into business, so it's basically a waste of money and time, unless you know what it is you're doing and this is part of a wider branding play. But if you're managing your own Google advertising, it's probably not what you're trying to do. You're probably trying to spend $1 to make $10 kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully you find that helpful. Don't overlook the importance of intent. If you've got any questions on how that sort of applies to your business and what it is you're trying to sell, please do let me know. You can leave a comment, or you can email me on info@samfrost.co.nz. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.